So first we're gonna talk about Cerebell. Have you, any of you, applied this on a patient yet? Used it, seen it?
I've seen it, and I don't know if I've done it.
Okay. So first of all, there's two things to it. There's a headband, and then there's this little charger, which also acts as the, the main
Are there two
machine for
different
it.
types of headbands?
We have two of these, and they live in A&M's office.
Okay.
And then just in case there's no A&M in the unit and the door is locked, you do need to call security to get it open to get this out. And then these do need like 8 hours of charging, so make sure that, if you're a break nurse or a critical admin, maybe just check. So how do we use it? So there's this power button on the top, you turn it on, and then it's gonna bring you to this display. It does have a lot of tabs, which actually you don't really need all of them, you just use 2 of them mostly. So there's a record one and the electrodes, that's what I usually have to use. So electrodes is really helpful because it kind of gives you a picture, and then it shows you all the headband electrodes, and to see it's color coded, so if it's green, that means it's good to go. And then if it's red, that means you need to readjust your headband. And then I press on home to go out of there, and then I press record, and this is where you can enter your patient's information, and then this is where you enter patient's name, date of birth, and then ordering doctor's name. So you don't have to necessarily have the order active when you put this on. If the doctor tells you verbally, put that Cerebell on, you can put it on, but you do need to have an active order for actual Cerebell for the neurologist to be seen. Okay, so once you have entered all the patient's information, you can attach the headband. So the headbands, they are not in a different sizes. They are supposed to be just for all the ages 2 and above. So it could be a little tricky because, depending on the size of the head, not all 2 years old will be fitting this
It's
headband.
only been one size? I thought there were 2 at one point.
So there's 2, but I've only seen mostly 1 on the unit. So you plug this in. And then, so the electrodes, and this is when you're ready to place the headband on the patient. So if you look at it, they're all numbered from 1 to 10. And it actually clearly tells you this is for the back. So that's for the back of your neck. Because it goes on the neck, and then number 5 and number 10 are too close together on the back side of your neck. So they're high risk of losing signal when you have a patient's head on the pillow, and also like skin breakdown is a higher risk for these 2. So it's better to have a neck roll under, because if you have a neck roll, your neck is kind of like elevated, and then the pillow is not touching it, so you do get a better reading for that. So once you place the headband on the patient's head, I'm gonna use the baby for this. It's not gonna fit, but so once it's on. So you see number 1. So we're supposed to twist it 7 times clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you see the top knob on the top. You're supposed to squeeze it because that's what's going to release the gel onto the scalp. So the twisting mechanism actually moves all the hair out of the way, so there's a better contact with the electrode to the skin. And then once you release it, the gel will make that connection even better, and then you can actually see it on the electrodes. So if you go home and then press on electrode from here, you will see it turn green. So if it was a good connection at this point, you'll see number 1 turn green. Right now it's red because there's no signal. So you will repeat this process with all number 10 electrodes, and then once you're all done, you just make sure that it's all snug and secure and you have all the green signal, and then you press start recording. So if you look at your this little hand out over here, so once it's all green like this on the screen, you press record and it's going to start recording. So Cerebell is transmitting data throughout like the time that you have it on the patient. Usually you can leave it on for like 2 hours. I've seen that patient haven't had it for a long time, like up to like 8 hours, 12 hours too. So there's one major concern with it. It's the skin breakdown, because these little dials, if you look at it in the back of the electrodes, they're not so smooth or soft. So when you do the twisting and then the patients are laying on it, there is a high risk of skin breakdown. So we're supposed to do skin assessments every hour.
Like
So-
remove it?
So what was that?
Remove it
No,
and
so
check
the
under
way
their
you
skin?
the way you're gonna assess the skin is like you don't have to take the whole headband off. You just peek through it. You just lift one at a time, and then you peek. And of course, you are gonna lose the signal at that time. So how would you readjust it? You would just twist it a couple more times, and then look at the color on the electrodes and make sure it's all green. So it's like every hour for all ages. So say that you had an order for Cerebell to be put on for 2 hours. It's been 2 hours, now you have to stop. So you would press stop recording on this screen right here. And then once you do that, you are okay to take off the headband of the patient, but do not turn off the power yet, because you do need some time for the device to transmit data. Because of the Wi-Fi, it's not like really instant. So if you turn off the power, there's a possibility you may lose some data from transmission during that time. So just leave this on for like 5 to 10 minutes after you're done with the Cerebell. One other consideration with the Cerebell is charting. Like, how do you know where to chart for that? So on our shift assessment, if you click on the further neuro assessment required and you say yes, it's going to give you a drop down of these options. And this is how you get the chain of 4, all the other neuro assessments that we do. The bottom one, it says headband EEG. So it's a drop down option, and if you click on it, it's going to actually give you more options to chart your skin assessment. And also, if you were going to keep it on, is it continue, discontinue, restart it, pause, you have all those options there. And that's how you chart for that. Do you guys have any questions on Cerebell?
How do you refill the gel?
Yes. So, over time, you will see this, that you are getting a red signal. And then you're like, okay, let me readjust. You readjusted the headband, it's still red. So you can release more gel by pressing on this because there's a possibility that it dried out on the scalp. So you can release more gel by pressing on it. So one pressing on it is not going to release all of it. But then eventually you are going to run out of gel. So how do you refill it? So on each knob, there is an opening, you can see it. So you're supposed to use a needle, blunt needle for this. So first of all, you're gonna grab, so right now we do have these gels in stock in the line room, but you can use ultrasound gels which are available in the Target and also line room, and much easier to use, and they're more available on the unit too, so either one is okay. So you're gonna take a syringe, 5cc syringe is like, it's better because you can use it for multiple electrodes. So you take out the plunger, you will fill it with the gel, once it's all the way full, put the plunger back in, and then you're gonna attach your blunt top needle, which I just misplaced it. So for now, we're just gonna pretend that this is a blunt top because it's not blunt tip, it's actually a needle. So you'll take your blunt tip needle and then you can just push out. So each electrode dial is actually capable of storing 1 ml. So 1 cc or 1 ml of gel, you just refill it. So you can refill multiple, with 1.5 cc. And then once you're done, same thing, you can put it on and then just press on this little dial, and then it should release more gel for your patient. One of the reasons we have the Cerebell monitors, always on charging, because it does not last long. So if you have to monitor or you have to place a Cerebell headband for more than 8 hours, 12 hours, you will have to replace this monitor.
Do you label it, this
So-
is start time?
So one of the things, you don't have to label it, but you have to kind of check it. Maybe you can just plan a video hourly scan check, make sure that there's enough battery, you can see it on the top. And then, once you feel like it's about 25%, I would just switch it. But then one thing to remember, when you switch the monitor, you do have to enter patient information again, because these monitors do not talk to each other. So you're starting a whole new one with entering everything new.
Mm.